Hello, 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 dreamers. Perla here. As always, thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. So this is On the Cusp Messages. I had to laugh for a little bit, guys. I had a moment just now. Anyways, this is for all of our lovely cusp signs, and this video will be timestamped, guys. And yes, nails are off. I am recording this the day of surgery, actually. By the time you guys see this, it's gonna be a few weeks. But yeah, so the nails needed to come out, and I will give you guys an update on the whole surgery thing, like after the whole ordeal. Anyways, let's jump right on in. Aries, Taurus, cusp. Um, Feeling a little stuck is the energy that I'm picking up. Not knowing exactly like how to move forward or how to move away from this, how to move away from this, how to move away from this. For some of you, this energy that you're wanting or desiring to move away from is an energy, like a perception or a thought pattern. Maybe you're the type of person that whenever anything is going good in your life, you start to wonder off as to what could go wrong and when something is going to go wrong, or etc. And spirit is asking you to ground back into the knowing that everything is working in your favor, and that the things that are there to stay, and that nobody's going to come and rob you of this. There is something here where maybe addressing or doing some type of root chakra may be needed. So, whether it's meditation around that space, maybe working with somebody that does that type of energy work. I do have a playlist that is like the energy transmutations. They're completely free, guys. If you're feeling a little unstable, ungrounded when it comes to something that you have achieved, maybe doing a little root chakra meditation, like watching that video, whatever, it's a couple of minutes to help you ground and then knowing that this is yours and nobody is coming to take it. There is some type of fear here about being scared that some type of success or some type of win in life is going to be short-lived. All right, so I need you to ground yourself knowing that this is real. This is here to stay. This success is here for you. Okay. um so we have the mountain. Stand your ground. Again, we were just talking about that root chakra, that groundingness, as above, so below. So you have to know that in spirit, you already know. In spirit, you have been living this dream, this lifestyle, etc., for many, many ages. And now it is the time for you to live it in this reality, in this world. So you need to stand your ground, knowing that, yes, this is here to stay. Yes, this is here for me. Yes, this is mine. Okay. Alrighty, guys. That is all that is coming through for you guys at this moment. Love it. Taurus, Gemini, cusp. Taurus, Gemini, cusp. Are we done yet? Like, I kind of almost want to put my face in the camera. Like, seriously, are we done yet? Are you done? Are you done? And why is this energy coming through? You keep on giving so much of your damn self. You keep on pouring so much of yourself onto others, and what are you getting back in return? Nothing but stabs in the back or slaps on the face, to be honest with you. You keep on getting infatuated, and not it doesn't have to be romantically, right? You keep on getting infatuated with the idea of people, with the potentials of people. You meet somebody, and remember, just because you are in alignment with someone about one thing does not mean that you are in alignment with them about everything. And you can bond with somebody over trauma, but not bond with that person about creating, about financial freedom. And you can bond with somebody around trauma and love, but not necessarily health, or vice versa, right? So there is a need here that just because you are having you're meeting people that you're connecting with, and this and that, and you're vibing with them in a specific area, that doesn't translate to something else, right? That doesn't translate to this. It may just be in this specific space that this person lives and connects with you. And when you have the understanding of where to place people in your life, then you know how to navigate those connections and what energies goes into those, right? One of the things that I'm always reminded when I think about situations like this is when my second eldest was in school. He was very much, especially, well, he is in school, but when he was younger, like elementary school, I remember him having some little argument or something about something he didn't want to share with somebody. And the kid came up to him and told him, "Well, we're not going to be friends." And my son directly told him, "Who told you we were friends? We're classmates." And he was, I want to say, like, I think he was like 6. This was like, yeah, I think he was like 6 years old or something like that. So he was very young when this happened, 6 or 7 years old. And the reason why I know it happened is because I got a call because my kid was being mean. right? And it was because he didn't want to share something that was his personally. And he's always, since a very young age, has had this viewpoint that just because you meet people in certain settings, that doesn't automatically make them your friend. Now, I have 4 kids, in case you're new here. Now I have twin girls, and one of my twins, everybody, when she was like 3, 4 years old, everybody she met was her friend. She met a girl at the carnival, and she spent the entire day, like, she made this little girl's family, like her parents, spend the entire day with my ex-husband and us, like, because they became instant best friend for that day. Do you think that they ever saw each other again? Hell no. Our schedules didn't match up. Like, our lifestyle just didn't match up. But for that one day, these 2 little girls spent an entire day being best friends. And she was like that with everybody that she met. She would meet kids at the park, and yeah, some of them turned into friendships. A lot of them were short-lived, like a day event type of thing. And I feel that you're needing to distinguish the two. What is a day event? What is an event that is, what are these connections that are supposed to be more networking, that are supposed to be short-lived, versus these connections that are supposed to be long-lasting? I feel that you're pouring into, how do I want to word that? You're pouring into instant connections what you pour into long lasting ones, and you're needing to distinguish the two, and you're needing to recalibrate how it is that you are showing up in those instant connections, those connections that are just meant to be very brief in your life. And once you find that balance, you'll stop going into these cycles where you're constantly overpouring into people that you're not supposed to. We have the Spirit Fox as your closing message: trust your talents in changing time. So trust yourself to be able to discern what these different types of connections are and how it is that you're supposed to be showing up in them. Okay. Gemini, Cancer, Cusp. Do not get frustrated. Okay. You're needing not to get frustrated with people that have different perceptions or different viewpoints than you do. Hold on, guys. And there is a sense here that you're needing to address the part of yourself that gets triggered when someone has a different viewpoint than you, or has a different opinion than you on something that you are very passionate about. So, how can this look like? What does that look like, right? Well, when people may have a different political view than you do, when people may have a different spiritual view than you do, a different religion view, whatever it is, a different view in reproductive laws, or whatever it is. There's something that you are very adamant and very passionate about. And when I am saying this is not to diminish or dismiss your viewpoint or your passion or anything like that. But the same way that you want your point of view to be respected, right? And you want to be respected as an individual, is the same way that you should approach those that have an opposite viewpoint of you. Now, prematurely cutting people out because they have different opinions than you, it would not be the way that I would advise you to go. um yes, we tend to connect or gravitate towards people that we are in alignment with. But what I was saying to, like, another sign I think before you is, like, you don't have to be in alignment with someone about everything in order for them to be part of your group, or in order for them to be part of your crew, right? I know a lot of people, and I connect a lot of people that are super highly focused, and they are very adamant about love and light, and mainly just that aspect of spirituality, and they have evolved within that space. And I am very intrigued about it. I love learning about it. I love all of that. But I am not gonna lie, I am more into, like, the shadowy, darky, sticky things that people like to stay away from. Those shadows aspects that people like to demonize. These parts that people like to shun off, right? But that is the beauty of it, is that when I come together with those individuals, with those friends, we're able to have conversations about our own perceptions of what spirituality looks like, our own perceptions of how we dive into these spaces. And it is a beautiful thing when you allow yourself to hear and see metastasize, is that what it is, like when you're like chewing, I don't even know, I'm probably using the wrong word. But when you allow yourself to hear someone else's opinion, think about it, ponder about it, but still stay grounded in what you know is true for you, or what your belief is, what your opinion is on something, without getting triggered to the point where you want to dismiss somebody. Okay. A very quick, like, reminder: remember COVID? Yeah, I had a lot of people coming at me because of a lot of things, and I'm like, seriously, like, I see your point of view. I understand where you're coming from. I understand your opinion. I respect your opinion. But when I was trying to get a word out, I was being shut off. I was being screamed at. I was being called names and all of these things. And what I'm trying to tell you is, like, do not go down that road. And if this is not you, you may be dealing with somebody that is embodying this energy, okay? So we have the wise one. Grow within your current situation. Every opportunity in life, every moment in life, we have the opportunity to grow. We have the opportunity to expand. And we have the opportunity to deal with triggers that are coming up in whatever way that they're coming. Okay? Okay. Cancer, Leo, cusp. You're being reminded to stay ready, or stay prepared so that you don't have to get ready. Stay prepared so that you don't have to get ready. For a lot of you, you kind of been in this motion of, like, barely making it or barely functioning, whether this is physically, whether this is financially, spiritually, or whatever. You're being reminded to make little adjustments, or make little things that you can do, like, on a daily basis, right? So if you're having financial challenges during this time, like, look at what you're making, look at what you're spending, make a freaking budget and stick to it. I know that a lot of people is like, oh, that's lack mentality. No, when you know what you have, when you know what is actually available, where is it going, and you're not running away from the fear of, like, checking your bank account or anything like that, then you know exactly what it is that you want, like, financially. Okay, I want this amount of money more on my bank account every month, or whatever it is. Then you have a starting point for what it is that you're trying to manifest, right? When you're avoiding it, you're not going to freaking even tap into that manifestation, because there's so much fear about even addressing what the situation is at that moment in time. If this is physically, like, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling sluggish, if you feel like you want to start working out, then start small. Start doing 10-minute yoga, 5-minute, like 10-minute treadmill walk, whatever it is. But there's something here where, if you are prepared, meaning if you're showing up for yourself on a daily basis, there is no need to get ready. For those of you, like, that want to get more into meditations, maybe your goal is to be able to sit in a meditation for an hour by the end of, like, the summer, the end of the year, whatever. Then start slow. Every day, set a timer, meditate every day for 5 minutes, whether that's breath work, whatever it is, or however it is that you want to do it, right? But there is, and I'm sorry that my dogs are routing in the back, that you see the camera moving, they're freaking being loud as hell. But there is a sense here of, like, preparation, setting that time for preparation is something that is highly needed during this time. We have the traveler, move in a new direction. And this is exactly what Spirit is telling you to do. Spirit is telling you, hey, let's get a hold of this, and let's change the things that you want to change. Let's change the things that are no longer working. Leo, Virgo, there is an energy of urgency. There's somebody here that keeps on looking at the clock, or keep on looking at the time, and you're being asked to kind of, like, take a break, or take a pause. Take a pause. The energy of urgency can be very intense, but can also be very destructive, because then it can force you, or it is such an impulsive energy that can have you move into a space or in a direction that you may not be ready for. And that is what you're being advised to be aware of. Do not make any decisions or anything like that out of urgency. So, like, you can use, like, a car dealership, for example, right? You can be just looking at cars. You're not even 100% sure what you want. And you walk into a car, and, like, the salesperson is being very pushy. Well, like, if you don't get it today, tomorrow, you're going to have to spend. It's like that type of energy. And it's like, no, like, I know that I want a car. The only reason why I'm here right now is, like, I'm just glancing to kind of get a feel before I commit. And it's like somebody's trying to rush you to, like, commit to something very prematurely before you're even ready. And you're needing to, again, not allow that urgency to push you in a direction that you're not ready for. And for your closing message, we have the Druid, hold the space. You're needing to hold yourself accountable during this week, not allowing the urgency energy to get the best of you, not allowing yourself to be peer pressured into something that you don't want to do, not allowing yourself to be manipulated into a situation that you don't want to be in. Leave her alone, Buster. Sorry, guys. He's, like, hovering over her because she's on her cycle. But there is this sense where, again, you're gonna have to stand up for yourself, and you are going to have to be like, hey, I told you I need a day, or I told you I will give you an answer on Friday. Do not allow somebody to rush a decision for you. Virgo, Libra, cusp. you're questioning your you're questioning your life at this moment. You're questioning your living situation specifically. There's something that you're wanting more. You're wanting more. You're wanting to change something. You're wanting like maybe like expansion, or you're wanting to expand. There is a sense here of wanting more than what you have, but there is like this dual energy of like whenever you start to dream bigger, whenever you start to say you want more, there is like this shame or this energy of like, how dare you not be grateful for what you have? And there is a thing here where you have to understand that both energies can coexist. You can be extremely grateful for where it is that you are now in life and still continue to dream for the more that you want, right? So I am extremely grateful for this first house. I am extremely grateful for everything that I have in this moment in time. But I am still working behind the scenes on the more that I want to accomplish, the more that I want to have. And and that's kind of like something that you need to kind of like remind yourself. You should never have to settle for anything. And just because you are wanting more, it does not diminish the gratitude that you have for the current things that you do have in life. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for your closing message. Loving this energy for you. We have the high priest, intent and create. So you're being told to set intentions. Set intentions, whether it is journaling, whether you want to do a vision board, whether you want to do a voice recorder, whatever it is, but get it out in a tangible way, right? Take an index card and say, I want, or I desire, whatever it is. Have something that you can like actually see or hear, or whatever it is. And then be like, okay, spirit, how do I attain that? How do I create that? And if you allow yourself, or you give yourself that space, the ideas, the opportunities, everything to help you create that are just going to start flooding in. But you do have to address that energy of shame, or that energy that is trying to tell you that you are being ungrateful. Okay? Okay. Libra, Scorpio, cusp. Freedom is what I keep on hearing. As I was spinning the water, I kept on seeing like bars, like like when somebody's incarcerated and stuff like that. I'm not saying that you are, but this is what I'm saying is like you have attained some type of freedom from something that you have been trying to walk away from, or that you have been trying to change. Now, I am going to say this, for some of you, this is physical freedom. So some of you have finally gotten yourself out of that crappy apartment, or that shitty job, or whatever it is, that old car, whatever. For those of you that is something physical, is like you're upgrading something physical. But for those of you that this is going to resonate, this is finally something clicking when it comes to your thoughts and creation, when it comes to your thoughts and manifestation, and how it has always been, because it is what it has been, right? That connection to embodying that energy. And it is not so fluffy as saying like, oh, just believe it or just see it. No, your nervous system has to be in agreement with what it is that you're trying to create. So finding different ways to navigate into regulating that nervous system so that you can tap into that neutralized energy. And that's what I like to call it, guys, that neutralized energy that allows everything to manifest, that allows everything to be created, that allows everything to be birthed. And as I'm saying this, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely working on a couple of workshops that I want to release, one day things to kind of like give you guys like the outlines of these things. But anyways, there is a sense here of like something finally clicking, like you're having one of those big like aha moments around manifestation, and it is a big breakthrough for you guys. It is an immense breakthrough for you guys, because there is a lot of things in your life that after this aha moment, things are just shifting in the direction that you want. So we have the lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. Again, you may have gone down the rabbit hole about learning about manifestation, learning about, and it may have been a tough road, right? Maybe you were following like a lot of different people, you were trying many different ways to manifest, and spirit was like, look, siéntate aquí, sit down right here, sit down right here, this is all you got to do. And it just fucking clicks instantly, and it's like shit, and it's like everything just starts to open up and work in your favor. Love that for you, babe. Scorpio, Sagittarius. So that's where we're at. Yeah, Scorpio, Sagittarius, cusp. You're planning some type of a big event, whether it is like a work event, or maybe this is a party or something like that. And you're trying to figure out how to make something, how to bring your vision to life is what I'm picking up. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This is one of those things where you may have to get outsource help. So you may have to like hire a party planner or something like that. Or you may have there's something here that, because of how big this project is or how elaborate you want this event to be, asking for some help or hiring some help is definitely encouraged. It's encouraged, and I do feel that because of the magnitude of this event, it is definitely within budget to hire help. Maybe, doing a couple of interviews to see who's the best fit for you, because you may have just taken up a lot more than what you thought you could, like, that you can actually handle. And outsourcing or delegating certain things in regards to this event is what is needed. And there's no shame in asking for help. We have as a closing message the Mirror Guardian. Time to take time to reflect, right? Look at the event, whether this is like an event, like as far as like, you're hosting a party or something like that, or a convention or something, or this is like a big major like life decision event that you're making, like moving or etc. Take time, see exactly what are the moving parts that are needed to make this event successful, and then delegate or hire the help that is needed. Sagittarius, Capricorn. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, so this is what I was saying. There was something here about feeling dirty or feeling icky after some type of interaction. You may have, gone out with a group of friends and maybe like, got wasted or whatever it is. Maybe you slept with an ex. Maybe you had like a one night stand, or maybe there's something here where you were physically entangled in something that is making you feel dirty. And something that left like a bad taste in your mouth, and you're wanting to feel clean. And for some of you, there may be the need here to take like a bath, like do some type of like spiritual ritual to cleanse yourself of whatever it is or whomever it is that you were connected to or in contact with. But there is definitely a sense here that something feels off. And yes, you are being advised or guided into, again, doing some type of cleanse, maybe cleansing your house. Maybe there's some type of energy that you're still dragging along or that is still attached to you that you need to release. But just know that the sensation or the feeling that you have in regards to this is very real. So we have as your closing message the star ancestor: follow the voice of your soul. So for some of you, this may be happening in the dynamic of a relationship, and a part of you is telling you that it's time to walk away. It's time to walk away from this person. It's time to walk away from this connection, and you're needing to listen to that. Okay, okay, babe. Capricorn, Aquarius, cusp. What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? Spirit is asking you to be very bold in what it is that you're asking, but also to be very clear and very specific with what it is that you're asking. It is going to go something like this. And this is something that I do with my clients when we're doing manifestation, like one-to-one work, especially around money. Do not come at me and say you want $3,000. Do not come at me and say you want $10,000. I want very to the detail, specific money. So, and again, this is something that I'm going to be teaching like in workshops and things like that. I assign every penny that comes into my life a specific thing. So like if this is for the mortgage, this is for the car insurance, this is for this. This is money that I want to spend on makeup. This is money that I want to spend on clothes. This is money that I want to spend on trips. This is money that I want. And I get as detailed as possible. And then I say, okay, this is my lump sum for the month that I want. And I put it out to the last penny, because I am not here just wishful thinking. I am manifesting that these are the things that I want, and these are the things that I'm going to have. And therefore, even if I don't see a way, even if I don't know how, this is what is going to happen. And it's not that like, I know that I'm making it sound like kind of like mystical and this and this and that, but it is very simple when we ground it to like knowing how to work with these energies or these frequencies. So if you're having some type of issues when it comes to manifestation, please, 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 I advise you to get very specific. Like one of the biggest things that you can say is like, I want a car. I want a new car. Okay, let's say you have a current car. You get off your driveway and into the street, 2 blocks down, you get into a car accident. Guess what? You're going to get a new car because you just totaled your current one. Or you go to turn on your car and your car is completely dead. You're going to need a new car, right? No, being very specific. When I wanted a new car, I said, okay, I'm ready. I said it just, I was like, I'm ready for a new car. I want A, B, C, and D in my new car. And my current car is going to become the starter car for the kids when they start driving. Guess what? I have two that have their permits. Guess what? I have my car, and guess what? My old car is what? Their practicing car. Alrighty, this is how we manifest. We get very specific to the last little detail as to what it is that we want. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for your closing message. And I tried, this card came out for the one before. Follow the voice of your soul, your ancestor, the star ancestor. So again, there is no need to restrict yourself when you're trying to manifest. There is nothing that is too big for spirit to deliver. There is nothing that is too big or too out there for you to have. It is your mindset of how it is that you have worked around manifestation that is still holding you back, love. Aquarius, Pisces, cusp. Something is calming down, or there's like a downtime after some excitement or some tension. Regardless of whatever it is, there was a heightened energy or a heightened space that you were in, and now something is finally calming down. And you're kind of asking yourself, like, okay, how do we avoid that happening again? Like, how do we avoid that energy from coming back again is what I'm picking up. So for those of you that had some type of like arguments or fights or etc around a certain space, there is a sense here of like needing to identify what was it that, like, what were the little things that led to that big moment. So you're going to have to look at this. If this was like an argument, if this was a fight, what were the little things that were suppressed or pushed aside that then led to this big argument? And if this is something exciting or something good that happened, something that you celebrated, something that you achieved, what were the small steps that you took in order to have that big win? So regardless of whether this was something that you view as positive or negative, what were the steps that led to that end goal? And like now that you're resting from the explosion of it, whether it was a celebration or a fight, whether you want to repeat it, do you want to repeat it if it was like a win, or do you want to avoid it if it was a loss? Like, what were the little things that led to that big explosion? And as your closing message, as we're saying that we have the lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. Now, growth can come in any shape or form, any way, any whatever, right? So you may have been growing through something that was exciting, that was fun, that you were passionate about. You may have been growing through something that was challenging, that was hard, that was heartbreaking. Regardless of it, there was a reward at the end of it. And navigating more the process of it, what was in that growth space, is what Spirit is asking you to kind of reflect on this week so that you can either repeat something or avoid something. Pisces, Aries, cusp. You're calling yourself out, or somebody's calling you out on a destructive behavior that you create. So a few seconds ago, one of my dogs is in heat, like she's on her cycle, and she gets very anxious, and we have to, like, make sure that she has everything that she needs. And um we had to move her crate from like the original space, right? That where it normally is. So she was looking for it, and she got a little agitated not being able to find it because I guess she forgot for like a minute. And she jumped on my bed and grabbed a pillow. And what she usually does when she's anxious is she likes to rip pillows. So I looked at her and I was like, hey, and I said her name, and I was like, and she knew to stop. And then she hopped off the bed and then proceeded to go walk around the house till she found where it was that we put her her crate at. And my dogs are created in a space, in a sense that they go when they need to relax, or when they need to be alone, when they need a break from us, when they need a break from their humans, they go into their crates. They're not locked in there. All right. But at that moment, she was like a little agitated. She was like, she's looking at the space where it normally was, and she's like, it's not there, it's not there. So her instincts was like, okay, let me do something disruptive. And that's kind of like what Spirit is kind of telling you, or like somebody's calling you out, like, hey, let's not fall into this destructive behavior when things are challenging. Let's address, or let's take a moment, and let's find our safe space, or our safe space to process what it is that we're dealing with. Okay? Because you cannot continue to fall into these patterns of self-destruction. You already know what they are. You've already been made aware of them. So why are you still allowing yourself to go back into these spaces? Like, why are you allowing yourself to go back into these spaces? So whether it is spirit that is calling you out, or you may have a friend or somebody that is calling you out, or maybe you're the one calling somebody out, but there is a sense here of like calling somebody out in regards to some type of like destructive behavior. The Mother Earth is your closing message. Feel loved and comforted. So there is a sense here that, again, maybe somebody calling you out, it's not about them trying to be mean or trying to make you feel less than or anything like that. It's just literally coming from a place of love. And I feel that if you allow yourself or give yourself that chance to see things from their point of view, you are going to see that this is coming from a loving place, and it is coming from a space of wanting to help you move forward and not continue to repeat the same cycles over and over again. Alrighty, guys, that is all that I have. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing. Guys, take care. Love you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.